A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer. But if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you, take your coat, give your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go also the 2nd mile. Give to everyone who begs from you, and do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you. This is a hard passage for us to hear. It is hard to think about this concept of justice, or the inversion of justice that Jesus is talking about. This passage is anchored actually in the Old Testament, in which this style of retaliation, if you will, was very ingrained in ensuring that punishments were just. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth really means do not over-punish somebody, do not abuse your power, but ensure that the punishment is equal to the crime. So if we think of it in that way, what Jesus is really saying is insanely radical. Think of all of the superpowers in the world. Think of the superpowers that we see today. When someone wrongs somebody else, the retaliation is huge. That is not, our instinct is not to let these things go. But Jesus is saying that the kingdom of God is different than any great superpower. For him, the kingdom of God is better, is different than the Roman Empire. The final portion of if somebody makes you walk a mile, take 2, is in direct response to the Roman practice of forcing anybody in a land they were occupying to do work for them. They could pull anybody off the street and make them carry something. Think of Simon of Cyrene during Jesus' passion, being pulled in to carry the cross. They had the right and the authority to do that. And Jesus says, don't take that humiliation lightly, but go farther. This is a spirit and a justice system of mercy, grace, and love. We are called to be bigger than the superpowers of this world. We are called to respond in love, and as we continue to read this chapter, Jesus will call us to love our enemies. Amen.